Hello, pre-algebra friends. It's been a while since I've said that. We're into chapter 3.3 now. We're continuing to solve these multi-step equations, and we've got one more type of equation that we need to learn how to do. So a lot of this is going to look really familiar to you because 3.1 and 3.2 are going to be a part of solving these equations in 3.3 as well. But there is something a little bit different with these equations. So you notice in my 5 steps, there is a 2a step that has not been there in the other 2 sections of notes. So we're going to notice that in these equations we have variables on both sides of the equal sign. In 3.1 and 3.2, your variable has been on one side or the other, but not both. Now, maybe there were like terms you had to collect on one side of the equal sign, but we haven't had a situation where we've had x's on both sides of the equal sign. When that happens, you have to take care of getting them together. So we're going to have to get them together on one side of the equal sign, and I'm going to show you how. So here we go. Number 1, solve and check. So we're going to box it up. We're going to rewrite it. We notice we don't have any distribution. I don't see any grouping symbols, so I don't have to worry about distributing. I don't even have to worry about collecting my like terms on one side of the equal sign. But I do notice that I have n's, my variables, on both sides of the equal sign. So I am going to have to get them together. I can either subtract 7n, because this is a positive 7n. I can subtract 7n from both sides, and that moves all my n's over here. Or I can subtract 10n from both sides, and it moves all my n's over here. It's your choice, but generally I subtract the smaller one from the bigger one so that the coefficient of my variable is positive whenever possible. So I'm going to subtract 7n from both sides. So this is just like adding or subtracting a number, but now you're adding or subtracting a mess of variables. So I've got 7 positive n's. I'm going to take 7 of them away, and I have to do it to both sides. What's left on this side is minus 5. What's left over here is 3 of those, 3 of those n's plus the 13 from the original part of the problem. Now this looks like a 2-step equation from 3.2. So you're going to go ahead and subtract 13 from both sides, get minus 18 is equal to 3n, divide both sides by 3, and you get n is equal to negative 6. And of course your check is your next step. I don't know why that did that. Very, very funky. All right, we're going to go with it so I can do the check on this one, and then I'll start the other one afresh. So the check for this one, I go back to the original problem. 7n minus 5 equals 10n plus 13. I think n is negative 6. But now I have to plug it in on both sides of the equation and see if my sides balance. So I think n is negative 6. When I do the arithmetic on both sides, let's hope I get the same thing. So that's minus 42 minus 5, which is minus 47 on that side. On this side, that's minus 60 plus 13. So if you take 60 and you subtract 13 from them, you do get 47, and it's negative because the 60 is a bigger number. So that worked just fine. Let's do another one. Hope this one stays in the same place. M minus 1 equals 9m plus 15. Again, I'm looking for distribution. I'm always looking for distribution. I just don't have any. I don't have any like terms to collect on either side of the equal sign, but I do have variables that I have to collect and get them together. So it's your choice. You can subtract m from both sides, which I think I will. That's a ghostly 1m. What's left over here is the minus 1. Don't forget the negative sign. You have 8 of those m's plus 15. Now we're looking to get the variable alone. I'm going to do my subtraction before I divide by 8. Now I'll divide by 8, and I'm going to get m is equal to -2. So that's pretty straightforward, don't you think? My check, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back to the original problem. M minus 1 equals 9m plus 15. And I'm going to plug in -2 for m. So there's the rest of the problem. Here's what I think m is. -2 minus 1, I'll go ahead and clean up this side. I get -3. Over here, I get -18 plus 15, which, good news for us, is -3. Okay, I hope this is making a little more sense to you. We're going to keep going. I'm going to let you do 3 at home, and we'll come over here and do 4 together. Again, it's your choice. Do you want to subtract 5k from both sides, or do you want to subtract 7k from both sides? Let's do it and get a negative coefficient. I'll just show you what this looks like. So that's -2 of those k's minus 8 equals 18. So this is really a similar process. It's just now in front of my variable, I've got a negative coefficient. But that's not a big deal. Add 8 to both sides, minus 2k is equal to 26. Divide by -2, and I get k is equal to -13. And, of course, we're going to check it. The checks take a little bit more work because, obviously, you're doing arithmetic on both sides of the equal sign now. So 5 times k minus 8, 7k plus 18. Let's go plug in. We think k is minus 13. Oh my goodness, my numbers are going to be bigger. But no problem. 5 times 13 is 65, and it's negative. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this side. Minus 65 minus 8 is minus 73. On this side, 7 times 13 is 91. And if you need scratch paper, just go off and do it over here on the side of the paper. You don't have to do this in your head. Minus 91 plus 18, and 91 minus 18 is 73. And again, it's negative because that 91 is a bigger negative. So, good to roll. I like it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to skip number 5. I do want to go down here and do this one that does have distribution. So this is the first one that we've done that has distribution as well as variables on both sides of the equal sign. But all we're going to do is distribute first. That's the first thing that we look for. So I'm going to go ahead and do the distribution. Minus 8x minus 26. And write down the rest of the problem. So now I don't have any like terms to collect over here or over here, but I do have x's on both sides of the equal sign. So I've got to get those guys together. I'm going to add 8x to both sides. That leaves me with minus 26 equaling 37 plus 21x. So this is a two-step equation. We're going to subtract our 37 and get minus 63 equals 21x. Divide by 21, and you get x is equal to -3. I'm going to leave the check to you. Just a word of caution. Obviously, there's a lot of arithmetic in these problems. There's a lot of positive and negative numbers and a little bit larger numbers. So you just need to be really careful when you're doing your work. Get a piece of scratch paper, spread your work out. If you notice, my work is not all crammed together. I spread all these numbers out so I can look and see exactly what it is I'm doing. All right, the next problems that I want to do are these perimeter problems. So let's see, this says number 6, but I really think it's number 7. Oh dear, I might have another. Yeah, there's number 6, so this actually should be number 7. So here is the square that you have in front of you. 8x minus 5 and 3x plus 20. It says find the value of x and then find the perimeter. This is a multi-step problem. So the important word that you should be reading here is the word square. You might ask yourself, what do I know about a square? Well, I know that all 4 of these sides have the same length. And I'm going to use that information to do the first thing that they asked me to do, which is find x. We're going to do this first. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to say, okay, well, this is a square, so I know that the length of this 8x minus 5 is the same as, equals, the length of 3x plus 20. These are the exact same length. They're just written 2 different ways. Just like you can say you're 10 plus 2, or you can say you're 20 minus 8. These have the exact same value. So do these guys. So if we collect our x's together, we can solve for x, and we can answer the first question. So what am I going to do? Yeah, probably subtract 3x from both sides and get 5x minus 5 equals 20, add 5, and get 5x equals 25, divide by 5, and you get x equals 5. This is my first problem. I have now determined that x is equal to 5. Now I've got to figure out how to find the perimeter of this guy. I need a number answer perimeter. And in order to do that, I need 2 things. I need the formula for the perimeter of a square. P is equal to 4s. And I need to figure out how long these sides are. So number 2 is going to be a plug-in. Plug in 5. So 3 times 5 plus 20 gives me a side length of 35. Now, I'm going to do this twice because I should get 35 when I plug it up here as well. If I don't, I've got a problem. So 8 times 5 is 40, minus 5, 35. Yes. Now we know that our sides are 35 units long. Finally, we're ready to go up here to step number 3 and use our formula. So P is equal to 4 times 35, which is, let's see, 2 times 35 is 70, doubled is 140. So this is the answer to the second question. We've done the first question. We found x right here. We used x to plug in to find out how long our sides are. And then finally, we used the perimeter formula. Of course, the first thing we did is the most important. We knew to set these 2 sides equal to each other. Let's see. I think you have another one of these on your note sheet. I'm going to leave that one for you, the other square, and I'm going to go down here and do the rectangle. So your rectangle looks like this. 9x minus 8. And those are the lengths, and the widths are 8. So this is, sorry, I knew this one right. 9x minus 8 and 3x plus 10. So again, find x and then find the perimeter. So in order to find x, we need to remember that in a rectangle, your parallel sides have the same length. So we're going to set 9x minus 8 equal to 3x plus 10. 2 different ways to write however long this side is. Collect our like x's. So I'm going to move the 3x. 6x minus 8 equals 10. Add, add, add. And we get 6x equals 18. divide, one last step, and we think x is equal to 3. That's number 1. Number 2, plug x in. So 3 times 3 plus 10, 9 plus 10 is 19. And I should do it up here as well. 9 times 3 minus 8. 9 times 3 is 27 minus 8, which is 19. So now I am totally sure that these two sides are 19 long. And of course the widths they already give us are 8 long. So in order to find the perimeter, I know you guys know the perimeter. Let me go get a different color. What happened to my blue? The perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W. And now we know what the L and the W lengths are. The length is 19, so we're going to plug it in. Christmas colors. And the width is 8. So the perimeter is 19 doubled is 38, plus 8 doubled is 16. So P is equal to 54 units. And that's the answer to the second question. So these take a little bit of work, but they set up nicely, and you just have to follow a pattern. So I want you guys to do the other square in number 7. We're going to go down and do just a couple quick ones. At least set them up, and then I may just leave these for you to solve. So again, now we're taking these verbal sentences and we're writing equations, and then we're solving them. So 5 minus 6 times a number, 6x, is equal to 11, negative 11, plus 2 times the number. So this one is like what we've done before, but now, of course, you have variables on both sides of the equal sign, since that's what this particular unit is about. So you guys can, you can solve this one, and you can set up and solve number 9 and number 10. And we will see you in class. Thanks for watching.